Hello everybody, I hope you are all good. Let me see if everything is actually good. Let me see, come on, what is wrong with you? Okay, we are here now. Let me just see if this is good. Yeah, relax guys, what is going on? Come on. Am I winning here? What? Okay, let me open this. I just want to check if everything is overboard. Let's see. Why there's no volume here? Oh, let's say no. I'm supposed to be. Hello. I don't know what's going on. Am I? Oh, okay. I think the volume is there. But I want to test something, guys. Okay. Before we start here, let me just do this. I want to see if this thing it does work. There is some echo here. What is going on here? But I want to test something, guys, okay? Let me just open this and then just connect this. I want to connect you. Why are you running away? Let's see. I just want to see. Okay, before I start, guys, I want to test this because. So I'm trying to. This thing is not connecting. Why are you not connecting? Okay, there you go. Now, I want to see if this actually works. Let me see. Let me maybe see if I play this. Okay, just bear with me, guys. I want to see something here. Nope, it's not working. Nah, it's not working. So I have to take this off. You can't hear anything. Alright, let's just put when I'm alone. It's not working. Nah, it's not working. That means you are not supposed to be here. So I have to take this off. Let me switch it off. It might give me problems here. Alright, let's just alright. That means you are not supposed to be here. So I have to take this off. Let me switch it off. It might give me problems here. Alright, let's just oh, okay. Why is this thing coming? Wow. Oh, okay. Why is this thing coming? Thank you for liking. Okay, guys, please bear with me. I'm trying to see here what's going on. Why does it have this thing now? Thank you for liking. Okay, guys, please bear with me. I'm trying to see here what's going on. Okay, let me just play this and see. Why does it have this
thing? For a public protector to be, I'm going to use a street language, to be chucked out of parliament, and the consequences, everything that has led since then.
Yeah, indeed. The ANC made history since its formation, getting into bed with the DA to remove the head of the Chapter 9 institution. Actually, the removal from office as the head of the Chapter 9 institution was also an uncharted territory, because even the Constitutional Court, the way they behaved against myself as an individual, I wonder whether they will do the same with other heads of Chapter 9 institution. Yeah. So
okay, first of all, I would like to apologize, guys. I don't know what's going on here, but I will fix it. It has some echo, some tweet. I don't know how will the tweet go, how far it's going to go, but I will try and fix this thing, and maybe we'll have a good and clear sound next time. Okay, please bear with me. Let's just go through this live, and then I hope everything goes well. Let's just enjoy the live. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. I saw somebody who has already liked. Thank you for liking the live, and if it happens that you come in and you start with the live, thank you so much for joining. And you can like the video, you can like the live, and also you can share, and also you can subscribe if you are new. I would really appreciate all of that. Okay, so I don't know, because I don't see there, because I'm supposed to be having joining the membership. I don't know what's going on. I will fix it also. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go, and hope you enjoy the video.
With this removal from office, it was a very difficult process for them, because the Constitution and the drafters of the Constitution were of the view that you cannot just willy-nilly remove the head of a Chapter 9 institution. I mean, I remember even President Nelson Mandela addressing one university in Japan or in Taiwan, saying that they drafted this constitution in such a way that they call it ombudsman, because you can't remove a king, and the king of Switzerland decided on this institution to be the barometer on how the king is ruling over his people. So the way it was drafted, it was in such a way, especially the Public Protector and the Auditor General, you need 2/3 majority to remove them. But then they made sure that they marry with the DA and the other parties who are also funded by capitalists, or who are used as a tool to divide and rule. Yeah, to do that. Actually, it was, they made history.
It's very telling about the democracy that you're talking about, because when it was thought of as this beautiful thing, and people loved it all over the world, and so it disturbs us. And you know, when I was quoting you to sit down with you, I kept explaining to you that we are lost, we don't understand these things. So there was a time the late Pravin Gordhan was given questions to answer, and he did not even answer those questions, and may his soul rest in peace. And you went down that road as well. You asked the head of the executive to answer certain questions, and he has not answered those questions. Just explain to me these three arms of government, and we're talking about the executive, we're talking about the legislative arm, we're also talking about the judiciary. In theory, these things should independently hold themselves independent from each other. And like I said, you are the first example of someone from this side meddling over the affairs of the other and influencing them. Just maybe bring it back to us so we could understand on how you were removed because you asked the head of the executive questions.
Yeah. Indeed, hence I said the removal of the head of the chapter 9 institution, my removal basically, there were a number of strange things which happened, because it was a lot of choreographed process. You would see that.
Thank you for liking.
People are sitting somewhere and they are telling this one, when we are done with her, we then it will come to you and you will have to make sure that you deal with her this particular way. And there were a number of cases which one investigated, and I've explained over and over that the public protector is independent. The public protector does her work without fear or prejudice, and the public protector receives complaints from members of the public. And what's worse with this public protector of South Africa, which are my counterparts from Africa, were saying, no, we also want to have teeth, we also want to deal with this. And I used to say to them, the public protector or the ombudsman is created in such a way that it should have persuasive power. It's a go-between between the powerful, the state, and the individuals, the vulnerable. Yes. And unfortunately, with our mandate was that this thing of investigating the executive, that's what a lot of the times put me in a situation where I was facing the challenge. What then transpired was that the investigation of the CX investigation, which my predecessor kept that investigation for 6 years, I would say. And, being this efficient person who will always want to make sure that we comply ourselves with our service standards. Remember, we investigate and should delay maladministration, and we cannot be blamed to be also taking long to investigate matters. When I finalized that investigation, because the investigation was conducted by her, then after that, through its finalization on issuance of the Section 79 notice, where an implicated party is given an opportunity to give us their side of the story, issued to the Reserve Bank, ABSA, to the President, and they all responded to that, and even National Treasurer responded to that. But then to them it was a shock. Why am I investigating this? Forgetting that my predecessor investigated, interviewed Botabong Beiki, Bo Trevor Manuel, Bo Crystals, and everyone regarding this, the looting of the state resources through that particular process. Now, and the investigation was purely to check whether there was any improper conduct by the state by paying 600,000 euros to this foreign company to investigate and recoup all the monies which were stolen when the Reserve Bank gave that unlawful loan to Bangkok, and as well to recoup any amounts which were taken out of the country when we were gaining independence, or 1994. So that was also some.
If you're an estate agent in Sandton, this video is for you. So you've sold an amazing property in this beautiful city.
Sorry, very sorry.
Something which was unheard of, that I proceeded with that, issued the report. I was blamed that I lied by saying I've used the economist, which one economist indeed was used, the late good son, who worked at the Reserve Bank. And the economist which was used was the one which was used when the matter was litigated upon, because that's where I needed that expertise. And that was said to be me lying, or I didn't tell the truth, and that the president intervened, and why I interviewed or met with State Security Minister. Because that investigation, when you're a public protector, you need to go and investigate and, follow the truth. You cannot just rely on information. As an investigator, you don't just read Gupta leaks in the newspaper and find any person guilty. But you have to go beyond that. You have to interview, you have to subpoena documents, statements. So that then put me in a very wrong path with them. And the report was issued, it was taken on review. If you remember, Chief Justice Mkhwebane delivered a minority judgment compared to against Kampembe, which is always being utilized as one of their tools. And it was also Perom who then said I should even be paying personal costs. Imagine, as a head of the Chapter 9 institution. But I'm glad that people then, when they were called upon. They donated monies. The public protected me. They paid those monies. Then Chief Justice Mkhwebane said, but Reserve Bank, you need to tell us you are not above. I mean, you're a constitutional institution, an organ of state. You need to be investigated by the Public Protector, but then just be upfront about whether the monies were paid. Actually, it was the interest which was supposed to have been paid, was not paid. So that's where you would see the true capture of the judiciary, the executive, and the legislature. By then was not obvious. The judiciary, in the sense that when the matter was taken to the Pretoria High Court, and that's where I saw the true colors of how some of the judges behave. Then the matter of the CR-17 investigations. I'll mention cases which I was facing charges on during the Section 194 committee in Parliament. That one as well, actually before that, the Freire investigation, which was investigated by my predecessor for the past 4 years, where there was no issue which was investigated that Ace Magashule and Hozwane were interfered or they were corrupt. That issue, when it was put to Ace Magashule, the response was that the matter was taken to the Royal Executive and they responded how the matter was dealt with, delegated to the MEC. From there, there was proof that the dairy farm was there, the equipment were bought, and there was a report of the National Treasury, which was then showing the value for money, which we never went deeper into investigating. Remember, there was a judgment. Bible told me that Mina, I didn't use Madonsela's report. And that then transpired, and I was even clawback with personal costs because it was questionable to then, if I oppose the matter. And opposing the matter, it's not to say you are fighting. You oppose the matter because you want to assist the court to say this is how the matter was investigated. Then it transpired during the Section 194 committee that the very same thing was accused of by Avokasak, the DA, that there was never a report which Madonsela finalized. I mean, she said it herself, there was never a report. Now you see how the judiciary and politics, actually Parliament was involved. Now the issue of the CR-17 investigation. I mean, by then when he did that, well, he was a deputy president. He was a member he was a cabinet member when he was deputy president. And when he was using, being invited by his campaigns team to do the dinners, when they inviting donors and he was attending those dinners, and there is Ramaphosa. He was a deputy president and he was supposed to have declared those donations, though they were saying to people, donate, I'll be campaigning for being a president, but don't expect anything in return. It doesn't matter. The fact of the matter is the way donations which were made, we were supposed to be transparent about them. Indeed, when we were investigating, the complaint by my man of the DA was only relating to the 500,000 Watson. But if you're an investigator, you cannot just get in here, find blood. If they say a person has been murdered in this room, but you see that the blood is encroaching into another room. So when we were investigating the 500,000, then it showed us all the webbook, all the donations, all the accounts, all the monies which were acquired, even to up to 1 billion. So, and the beneficiaries, the donors. And strangely, the judiciary again, Justice Litwaba, in chambers, not even before court, decided to seal those.
Hey, if you're an agent in Cape Town, you might be waiting for money from...
Oh, yo, yo. And what's going on now? stopping.
The way they were dealing with my removal. Then comes the issue of the Phala Phala. We would answer same 31 questions to be answered. And again, I think I'll just link in about Arthur Fraser. I mean, Arthur Fraser as well was one of the whistleblowers, how he was treated. And when you are upfront, they said this person saying, we need to be transparent, we cannot allow this. He was then labeled this, there were lies which they spoke about him when he's on the commission, and the media involved and everyone. So 31 questions, famous 31 questions, I sent them, I think in 2 days' time. Then the president suspended me. Actually, Mapisa and Mabula, it started with Thandi Modise, because then it was DA through this lady of DA, so that's where then the members of, no, not Rickenbach, the other one, the one from Mazone, the one who then, all these matters that I'm incompetent. And I'm losing cases. So they created that hype, that I'm losing cases, complaint. Then, remember, it was sealed in chambers, as I said, and then it was difficult for it to be unsealed because EFF had to take it to court to demand that they be unsealed. But what happened, it even reached the Constitutional Court, where they refused that be unsealed. But the issue was the recommendations in the report were saying, firstly, refer the matter to Parliament, the Members' Interest Committee, where he should be declaring all those monies, because he was demanded to do that retrospectively as a deputy president, not now as a president. But then the investigation was concerning the donations which were made when he was the deputy president. If that was done, so that officially in Parliament and the Hansard can have the records that these were the donations which were made for this sitting president. Secondly, the request was saying, can you investigate the way the money were transferred from one account to another account. I mean, you'd see withdrawals of up to 5 million at a go, paying this one. Why? And there were a number of people who were paid every month. Abu Tukwana, Abu Suweya, I think even Chaveni, her company received a lot of money, for what? So that investigation was very good. Even the first member of parliament, yes, 2 of them, I think, man. Yeah. So then, if that was investigated, that's when Rambo, again, the judge saying, during Madonzela's time, the state capture investigations report, state of capture report, he said nothing stops the public protector from instructing, referring the matter to another state institution and instructing how the report should be implemented. But when I then referred the matter to the NPA, he said, no, it can't be done. The public protector cannot do that. So you see how then, when it comes to my reports and my work, it was that orchestrated process to just deal with me and to destroy my future. I mean, when Kwanazi said, if I die, I die. I remember when I said, if I perish, I perish. Because if you stand by your truth as a person, then you'll be vindicated at the end, which anyway, there's a number of instances where I'm vindicated. And again, people don't realize that you allow the system to treat your own like this. Next time it will be you, it was myself, it was Judge Slope, Makoko, Brian, Mokama. Now it was Fraser. Now it's Mkwanas. Now the house is on fire. But it's same actors, same movie. Unless people stand up and deal with this, because no one is with this system which we have under this president, will continue to have such a shocking discoveries. I mean, even himself stuffing those dollars in his couch till this day. Interestingly, I thought Donald Trump was going to ask him, why did you have so much money.
My money in
Exactly, and it's an offense. It's a crime in the US to have so much money, their currency actually, and even in South Africa. What explanation are you giving to have so much money or those dollars when it's not the currency to transact? Yeah.
okay.
Okay, first of all, I think one of the things that I sometimes think that maybe Busisiwe Mkhwebane or maybe Busisiwe Mkhwebane, maybe, I don't know whether to say she misses every time she does the interviews concerning the public protector stuff, right, when she was a public protector. You would remember, guys, and if you remember very well, during the interviews of Mrs. Mkhwebane, it was an amazing interview. All of us, we were impressed. Now, for all those who saw the interview, you would know and you would realize that actually she did very well. When she was appointed to be the public protector, we didn't complain. Why? Because of the interview, right? Now, after she took the office on, right? I don't know what happened, but it seemed like, especially the DA, it seemed like they thought, or there was this mentality, or there was a narrative, or people, they started to see her as a Zuma person. All right? That's what happened actually. I believe that's where things actually started. It looked like, according to them, for me, I didn't see it like that, but according to them, it was like now she is becoming a person who is going to be there, Mr. Zuma. Why? Maybe because, I don't know what was the trigger, because I remember, guys, you would also remember, if you follow politics, you will remember this, that there was a time where the political parties, they started to say, this lady, you know, is here for Zuma, is here to defend Zuma, is here to make sure that Zuma is protected, and blah, 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 blah. And then when Ms. Mkhwebane was busy with Cyril Ramaphosa, was busy with all these cases that were high-profile cases, some of them, I think they thought, this is why we say this lady is actually against. And I think maybe it was because she was dealing with cases, right? But maybe they thought that she would actually also deal with some cases that are concerning or that relates to Mr. Zuma. And maybe, I don't know, maybe she was ignoring that. And maybe, I don't know, maybe she was ignoring that. I don't know whether she was or not. Listen, I'm speaking from correction. I'm not saying I'm right. But I remember that. I also believe that she did say before, actually, that they viewed her as a Zuma person. That is why, actually, things turned out the way they turned out. Because during her interview, it was an amazing interview. But when she took office, it was something different. That is why I always say to people that when it comes to these security, not security, investigative institutions, Public Protector, IPIT, NPA, I can even say police, okay? Those type of things, guys, all these political parties, I can bet and I can tell you, they want them. And I've always said this, right? Those are very important institutions in South Africa, because you can use them to arrest people, you can use them to investigate people, you know, and stuff like that, because any case that comes from those angles, Public Protector, IPIT, NPA, police, or those who are supposed to arrest, they will arrest very easily, because it comes from the investigators that are related to them, which is the police. It's an investigation thing, okay? So I think that these institutions are very, very, very important. And if there's going to be someone who his thinking is not like that, but they will make it look like as if this person is for this person. Okay? That's what I am saying it. And that's what I thought what happened actually when it comes to Ms. Mkhwebane. You know? Because according to the work of the Public Protector, what she did with the 31 questions that she sent to Mr. President, just like it would happen even today, is actually accused of something, as a public protector, especially if you are investigated by the public protector, they will send you questions for you to answer so that they see the answers. And if they are satisfied with the answers, then they will say, okay, we send the questions are like this, the answers were like this, and we were satisfied because of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But Mr. President, it seems like it didn't answer, and there was that thing now, there was a fight, and then, and maybe I'm under the impression that maybe even then when Ms. Mkhwebane was actually a public protector, maybe some of the political parties, they knew what politics is going to do, which turn the politics is going to go. If you don't know, guys, politicians, they can do things that you don't know. They can investigate because they've got the resources. They can investigate and they can make their deep research on how politics may turn up to be. They may not be accurate always, but they may turn up to be, and they can predict if in the future or in the coming years, maybe during her public protector time, maybe they knew that it's going to happen, that the ANC is going to drop, and if it drops, somebody is going to have to work with the ANC, and if somebody has to work with the ANC, who do we want as a president? All right, I'm not saying that happened, but I can tell you, people who are in politics, they can investigate because they've got resources. They can do researches that will tell them the stats or the data that will tell them where could the politics go, and they can be able to say, no, this guy, he must stay until because we want him to be around when the politics is taking. This is me just thinking.
Ramaphosa, and it did not end well, and you joined the EFF, and after the EFF you led the EFF and you found yourself in Mpumalanga, where you are hating you are the political head of MK party in Mpumalanga. And when you landed, it wasn't a smooth landing. The tug of war. And I remember when I was doing that 84-page dissection, I was lost. That thing was long, and I requested you to say, man, send this document. What does it mean? Commander General Jacob Zuma has written to say, among the other things they were asking Mary Paddy was to say, prove that you were. I don't understand what was MK saying at the time, and what is it? I want you to unpack the whole thing for us to understand it in layman terms. What was it that MK was saying about Mary Paddy, and why did they feel that?
Maybe also to say, yes, I joined EFF because their figures also were, to me, appearing to be.
How's biz, Ash?
Great, especially with the help of zero accounting software. I can keep my cash flow flowing. Like
these adverts are disturbing me, Now you see,
giving customers more ways to pay.
And I do understand people are making money here, so.
Are you still picking random workout videos off of YouTube and hoping for the best? Well, let's...
No, ma'am, I'm sorry. Next time.
Liberating the black child, and I was sent to Parliament. I served there as a member of Parliament under EFF. Then I resigned and joined Umkhonto weSizwe. But joining Umkhonto weSizwe as well was to make sure that I contribute ngizizele, and yes, with various engagements with the President, Jacob Zuma. And for me, it was I took it as progressive parties. And as well, I was never an active member of any political party when I was the Public Protector. But then I was operating in a political space and acquired a lot of experience in that field politically and how to treat certain matters politically. So I just want to put that at rest that, some people will say, no, but she doesn't have experience. Because I know that's what was also commented on when I was appointed to be the convener of Mpumalanga by some, including the former SG, saying that I have no experience. And so my experience is very broad because it cuts across not only national politics, continental and even international politics.
Please go further. Allow me to do this. So are you alleging that Floyd Shivambu, who you worked with in the EFF, has said that you do not have political experience?
Yeah, that's what he said at one stage. And it was not a very good working relationship with him. He made as well my stay or my arrival as the convener in Mpumalanga a very turbulent experience. It was a very difficult process. I joined October, and until he was removed, it was not a smooth process. So I hear people saying, no, you are from EFF. Even if I was working at EFF and he's one of the people who also spoke to me to join the EFF. But I think I see now why maybe he did that. Maybe just to, I see now possibly he's gone back to those people who said, maybe take her so that you can manage and control the way she operates. Yeah, that's that.
But the relationship in the EFF between yourselves, you did not interact a lot, or the
We didn't interact a lot because remember when he was in the EFF, the deputy president, Phala, he was so very far aloof. Yes, and when as a member of parliament, there were then internal EFF prescripts, which then as a new member you join, and there are a lot of prescripts or barriers which you have to comply with. Therefore, we didn't have any. There was one or two engagements where I was requested to assist with the proofreading of the manifesto, and instances where if there were meetings, one or two, I attended where he was there, but not that kind of a working relations, no. So then coming to Mpumalanga, when I was appointed by the president, 25 October 2024, the announcement which was made that I'll be the convener of Mpumalanga. And the existing convener was Miss Paddy, who then wrote a letter, or each of him circulated it, that congratulating me as the convener because I had her number. I also responded and said thank you for that. And then there was a stage where when the president appointed us with Mr. Matumane, who convener was KZN, said, you'll work with the task team because I want you to go stabilize the area. Then the detachment will be appointed at a later date. Indeed, the task team was appointed. It was not a smooth ride. Actually, within Mpumalanga, everything was delayed. In KZN, immediately the task team was appointed. In Mpumalanga, I think we started working with the task team. They announced it around third week of November. So 3 weeks down the line. And then because me being a person who would want to work and whatever, testing was announced. And then when the testing was going to be announced, I then invited Miss Paddy, called her. Actually, the then TG means wrote a letter to her to say, come and hand over everything. Whereas at that time already I had received a lot of reports from then Capo, who was the coordinator apparently, and I received a lot of reports as part of handover. Then Miss Paddy was supposed to bring the bank records, bank statement and everything. Then she failed to attend that meeting. She didn't come to that meeting. Then Capo came, and then after the meeting they announced this four gentlemen I was supposed to work with. There was one lady who was announced, but no one knew that lady. And then we continued to work with that team. It was not an easy process because it's politics. People had their issues, and then they decided to defy on a number of things. And then President was then told, because during that process again, the very same Floyd would work with one of the members of the team, and you'd find that when we write anything or he writes anything from his office, it will definitely leak through those people, through social media. So, it creates a lot of noise, and people say, yeah, Mpumalanga, things are not smooth, but it was just that. And creating even this further parallel. On this side is Ms. Pali, on this side is Mumai Ngobeni, Nago Prokosa, and them who are doing all this. But at the end of the day, all those noisemakers, especially from his side, they left with him. So we had a breather and JS in Mpumalanga after that process.
Just to check.
Yeah.
that detachment, that working team, was it entirely yours? Did you bring it? Did you influence it, or was it given to you?
Those were given to me. It's that task team, because he came. I didn't know I was not involved. Then they were brought. Then they were announced by him in November 2024. So that's the team I worked with. And then task which we were given was to prepare secondly, identifying regional leaders, thirdly, identify officers for the organization. So that was that. So when we started to do the regional visits, then that's where the serious disagreement came in. So I don't have the power to appoint. The only thing, it was a difficult situation because some of the disagreement was that, but we have the convener and the coordinator, and what is our role, the other three? So then trying to say, let's work together, let me allocate responsibilities to you. Actually, at first, they allocated themselves. Then I said, no, let me take it back to the National High Command. And then National High Command, that was never deliberated. But then with the National High Command members deployed in Mpumalanga, in one meeting in Durban, we agreed that no, let's allocate responsibilities to those so that we can start working. That was done. And then we thought things will be smooth. When I started then visiting to meet as they convene, meet sub-regions, people on the ground. And people were so happy because they said visiting any area. You know, you'll go to Mkoboti, Vitakani, Botelmas. And so people were just so excited to know that we can be visited by convicts. So then there was that disagreement. Then when they defied some of the meetings, then I had to say, okay, let me withdraw the letters I issued about your responsibilities. And again, the disagreements, the leaking of documents continued with them. Now, the appointment of the detachment is still not the convener. That is done by the president and the High Command, the National High Command. So when I had all those challenges, bringing them to the attention of the president, because the Secretary General was not helpful. Hence, I'm saying he also played a huge role in some of the problems which we had as Mpumalanga. Then the president delegated Judge Lope to come and assist Mpumalanga to appoint the detachment. So Judge Lope, people were identified, they were interviewed, a submission was written for the president to approve. Hence, the announcement was made through a media statement. So Mpumalanga was never as well treated the same because he was involved in Floyd. He made sure which they announced through, love. Yeah, but this one was announced that way. Though they were properly appointed. Again, there was a lot of noise in the groups. No, don't recognize this one. Only know the convener because the president announced the convener. Again, it was to and fro, but finally.
4 major sins. It's not your first time living on the earth.
In past life, you were.
That was what was the case.
Touch on that lady who was appointed, no one knowing who she was. Did you finally get the identity, and was she a spook, or was she a non-entity? What actually happened there?
No, it was Ketiwe Mtsweni. No one knew Ketiwe. Then later there was a long list which was written by some the interim provincial interim committee. Apparently they were recommending names to the officials. There was that Ketiwe Mtsweni. Somebody from Emelahleni, who was part of that team, apparently was the Secretary General or whatever, said no, actually it's not Ketiwe, it's Benzi Mtsweni. Benzi is the daughter of one of the MPs, MPS. Now, and later Floyd as well during the National High Command raised that, but I said, even if that's that person, but it says Ketiwe, and no one knows the Ketiwe. Some were saying there was a Ketiwe, but that Ketiwe has gone to Protection SA and all those balls from. So it was that mystical ghost. I had to kill him. There was then those who were very vulgar on social media who also were charged. There was also, including Neripadi, were interviewed by the judge and the team, and there was a report that they must withdraw themselves because there were 9 members, and then the 4, including Sfiso Zulu, who is at NCOP. NCOP sent by the province to NCOP. Now, that report was supposed to be implemented. The National High Command took a decision, and
this thing. Will we be able to work, in South Africa? Will we be able
to do every
work?
project I visited through the breadth and width of Mpumalanga? Your Dahaskral, your Wekitreu, Tabatreu, Bopalfo, Dipansing, Coach Bomkobotzi, all those being done with the detachment, few of the detachment members from our pockets. Just to make sure that one consult, meet the branches, meet the people. We establish structures, interim structures, because another thing, with our appointment, it was also hanging. The people who were identified to be regional leaders also hanging because they were given to the SGO in January. He failed to appoint them as well. So those people are still doing the work as interim because we need regional structures. We need sub-regional. Currently, we're busy finalizing the interim sub-regional. We will do the VD because we're VD-based. Now coming back to court. Indeed, the December 2024 matter where the court found against the organization for the dismissal of Ms. Patty. Because when Amina arrived, there was a letter which the DSG sent to us as a task team to serve to Ms. Patty. That letter was dated 7 October, signed by the President in November. Indeed, that letter was delivered, and a letter to the Speaker of Legislature to say, create a vacancy because this person is so long. Then Ms. Patty in December took the matter to, in fact not December, possibly June, November, took the matter to court and enrolled it on an agent basis, I suspect. Because after she enrolled it, then there was a return date, which is the 3rd of December. I see the court papers on the social media up and down. So I sent it to the former SG, right? As this on social media here. Make sure that you, legal services or somebody, check on this matter, or we should be opposing this matter. Then he said, send the papers. I said, I don't have. I'm suggesting that you check with the court as legal services. Nothing happened on the 3rd of December. Then the judgment was against us. The interim order was reinstated here. She's the party convener and party leader. And I discovered then there was an affidavit here at the attorney, where the attorney was claiming that we served the papers at Debeni. There was no one. We emailed the documents, they bounced back. It's an affidavit here. So we are going to go, the organization never had an opportunity to defend themselves. Then there was that interim order. She was then never removed from the legislature. Then she continued. Then she was suspended in February. Because there was a letter which was served on her. She's suspended, mustn't do any organizational work. She continued to have that event for crust whilst on suspension. And during that time, Speaker Nayo was told, don't put money into the accounts which are controlled by her. Here are the new accounts opened by the organization.
Very important. Who does that? Is this
the SMG?
Floyd's office?
Yes, and the TJ.
And then they instruct the Mpumalanga provincial legislature through the Speaker. And do they acknowledge receipt and willingness to oblige?
She acknowledged receipt. She then said she's taking the matter for illegal opinion because she felt there is a court order that I don't know where does that come in, because she interpreted there is a policy on party funding policy, which is very clear that when you remove the party leader, you can also put the chief whip, and the organization was putting the chief whip to now be the signatory of these accounts. So the Speaker, for some reason, said he's going to get a legal opinion. So I understand legal opinion was acquired, which said to her, she must just continue, or I don't know whether it said she must continue depositing or whether Mary Paddy must remain, which the court didn't say must remain the signatory, because Tina, we were not removing him as that party leader per the court order, but we were saying she's no longer the accounting officer. And now we're saying the chief whip is the accounting officer. So the Speaker then continued to deposit monies when Mary Paddy was on suspension into those accounts. Now she continued to do that. In terms of the constitution, taking the organization to court, your membership is cancelled.
If you have not exhausted internally. Yeah. In her case, do you think she has exhausted her?
She didn't, because she was even served with the, in fact, she didn't, because she was supposed to say when she was, actually, when Judge Sope was conducting those interviews and whatever, there was a record drafted. She was given an Audi letter to say to her, can you explain yourself? She did. Then she was told, no, we are not happy with it. Can you withdraw your name as the MP? So that process was done, because that first dismissal was coming from there. Yeah, now instead of maybe then appealing internally or requesting the audience, my president or whoever, to say, can you give me a second chance? She then took the organization to court. Now the suspension in February was saying, we are now dealing with the party which you've taken the organization to court. And she then defied the organization, and then her membership now. At first she was dismissed, because in that section you can dismiss, terminate membership. You dismiss it, your membership is terminated. The second one, your membership is cancelled. So in terms of the constitution, when it's cancelled, automatically we are no longer a member. Now your question, why were we saying, prove to us that you are a member? Yes. Then those issues came into being, because the story was like, reinstate me, and the organization was saying, why must you reinstate you? Prove to us, what actually, were you a member?
Were you ever a member?
Or actually you are a member?
Because the confusion here is, you, when I say you, hoping you represent MK's interest, when MK got rid of her, initially, it was saying, because you defied us, when that stopped her letter to say, recuse yourself from Mpumalanga legislature, she refused. And for those punitive actions where we are removing you from a member, we are removing you from the provincial legislature. And she went to court, and court upheld her stay in there.
It was actually an interim.
Yes.
Because interim was part A.
Or is it interim because she filed it on an urgent basis?
It was part A, and then there was a written date to which, and then the facts and the merits were going to be heard to part B, which was never heard in part B.
Okay.
Because she then, the organization then said, we are suspending you pending the hearing internally, because that at first it was the termination. You took us to court, and in terms of the constitution, we are saying, taking us to court, we need to terminate, in fact, to cancel your membership.
Atera is the IT painkiller. Remote monitoring and management, remote access, help desk and ticketing, smart automations, patching, software deployment.
So, as complex as it is, you were not, when you were asking her, prove that you were a member, it wasn't after you fired her. It was proof to us that you were a member even before, because I remember the narrative was that you said you joined December 2023. You know, those, yeah, you were part of those initial ones. You know, I spoke to Jabulani Khumalo. Jabulani Khumalo does insist that amongst the people that he found in Mpumalanga who were from the ground up starting this thing, she was part of that. When you were asking for her membership, were you asking her initial membership, or you were asking her after you have gotten rid of her? Because I think you should understand the reason I'm saying I'm confused. I'm confused because if you have fired her, then in the provincial legislature, say prove that you are a member. Then you have a leg to sit on this provincial legislature. Is it what you were asking her, or you were asking her, were you ever a member of MK?
No, not were you ever a member.
Okay.
You are a member to justify that you need to sit in the legislature. Now I understand. Yes, remember the declaration was, we declaring for it, we've cancelled your member. Therefore, because we've cancelled your member, you are no longer a member. You don't qualify to be a member of the legislature. And I remember there was respondent number 2, who speaker. I remember, and see, the declaration was also saying to Speaker, Ngoba second vacates, and this person is no longer a member. In section, there's a constitutional provision where it says when there's a vacancy, the party can declare a vacancy, and that vacancy must be filled by whoever the party would want to replace me. So that was linked to that. Ngoba was the same member. There is a vacancy, and when a speaker, we need to deal with that matter. Yeah.
So in short, she was removed because she's no longer a member of MK. She was removed in the provincial legislature. Yes. So, and then who becomes leader of MK in the Mpumalanga provincial legislature?
That the president will decide. The president now is seized with that.
Okay.
And the initial arrangement with the president was that I'll be going to the legislature, then as the party leader. And then there was then those changes where the president said, no, at first you'll be the convener, and then once everything is resolved, you'll then be going there. But now it's up to the party whether that will happen, or the party will decide that, okay, possibly we are changing, you are no longer this or that. But anyway, in terms of the constitution, it's possible for the party to say, as the convener, the president can give a decree that I can also be the party leader
in the
provincial legislature, because the president has that veto power.
Okay.
In terms of the constitution, because the constitution of MK is saying when you are serving on the structures, you cannot serve on governance. Two roles, but unless the president, in special circumstances, grant that. Same applies with dual membership, because a lot of people are still confused why the president is saying he's a member of the ANC is even going to court. And even others, those who left tonight, we are saying, no, we're to under special circumstances. Special circumstances means what? It must be approved by the officials. You cannot wear now on your own and say, no, me, I'm ANC, I'm MK. No ways. That should be something which is approved by the officials.
Yeah, it's very confusing, and I understand you will pardon us for being confused. Shirley Brown, on the ground, they said no. The reason Shirley Brown was removed from being leader of the Women's League, she's the inaugural leader. She was removed from being leader of the Women's League because she was sent to Parliament, and they say they don't want to contravene the constitution of MK. But of course, you see people like Judge Klope there, Dr. Judge Klope, who's there, and you find, I'm just going to give example in Gauteng, Ntontoni, who is said to be leader of MK in the Gauteng legislature, so he will not have control of the political side of MK. And all these parallel things are so confusing, because those who did not like Mary Padi, they would say, why does she want to be leader of MK in politically in the province and in the legislatures? You can't provinces, they don't enjoy those privileges. As an outsider, it's so confusing. And you say the president,
the decision which is removed, and they needed other people to be. Those are the operations of the organization, and there's democratic centralism and the party leader. That decision has been taken by the upper stretch. Why is it an issue? And I mean, the president has been saying a long time, don't fight for position. There's a lot of position. We should be focusing on working the ground, getting more votes, so that we take all the municipalities, we have a two-third majority. I mean, while the municipalities, if we can make sure.
Alright, listen, I will stop here because, this thing is just boring me, to be honest with you, I want to stream, but sometimes it becomes very difficult. I think I will stop for some time, not to stream, maybe for a week or something. Maybe I will do some premiums, then that's it, because I don't know, guys. I don't like doing this. I don't like things freezing here. You can't be watching things that are freezing. It's just not good. Hey, South African network. Anyway, maybe it's me. I don't know. But anyway, what I can say right now before I close is that with Miss Party, guys, I told you. I told you before, you guys, I don't know. But I told you that Miss Paddy, this thing of fighting for a position in Mpumalanga, fighting against MK party, what. It's not going to work, you know. It's not going to work because for me, I believe it's not even worth it, you know. If people don't like you around there, or if they don't like you, it's shy, man. Just go, just leave. You don't have to be trying to fight people unless you are moneyed, because some of you, I don't know, you think that maybe it's fun to go to court and always take out money, you know, and fight. I understand that maybe you're a person who's got a strong character, you want to fight everything, you don't want to let go of anything. Before you let go, you need to fight, okay? But some of the things, guys, I think as a person, you need to think and sit down, and you need to sit down and think and be like, hey, let me not fight this thing and everything. You are not giving up, but you can see that it's not going to happen. Let's just say, I told you before that if at the time when Miss Paddy won that case against the MK against his dismissal or removal, whatever, I told you that it doesn't even help. It's not going to be helpful for her to actually go back there. The reason is when she goes back there, they are not going to like him. Only a few people that will like him, that will like her, you know. So it's not going to be a good environment, nice environment. How are you going to work with people that don't like you? And then now we had to go to court again. She had to go to court again against the MK party. That was the end of it. Because I knew when she took the MK party to court, I was like, it's done. She's gone, okay? Because you don't do that in some cases, in some of the parties, especially like MK. You don't take them to court. Even in the ANC, sometimes when you take them to court, they look at you otherwise. And I'm saying this in all the parties. You take the party to court, you must know, even if you win, it's not going to be nice environment. You know, just pack your things and go. It's not like we've got two parties here in South Africa. It's not America here, it's South Africa. You can join any party you want to join, especially if you are not welcomed or you are not happy in that party. You know, this thing of fighting because you want to prove that you are strong, you can take people on. Sometimes you need to know your fights, man. You need to accept sometimes and be like, yeah, I'm gonna waste money. Let me take this money and do something else. Like, you know, things like that, you know. And when you look at Miss Mkhwebane, she was not talking a lot when it comes to Miss Party. She was not like speaking and fighting and you know, she was calm and she was just waiting for everything to just go accordingly. And unfortunately, for Miss Paddy, she ended up losing and she ended up winning. You know, that is why, guys, sometimes if you want to defeat people, don't talk too much. Relax. Don't fight. Relax. Keep quiet. Relax there. Trust me, especially if you are in a political party. The process will take its course. This thing of you fighting against how many people, I don't know how many people, because you would remember that Mr. Zuma said, if you are taking MK party to court, you are taking all of us to court. Or I can say if you are fighting one of us, you are fighting against the MK party. You know, and I think it was not worth it for me, for Miss Paddy. I knew that at the end of the day, she's going to lose. You know, she's going to be, she's going to end up being outside. You know. But anyway, tell me, ladies and gentlemen, what do you think about all of that? It was a very good, interesting conversation. We all know about Miss Mkhwebane, where she comes from in terms of politics, in terms of public protector, and now where she is and stuff like that, okay? Thank you guys for watching. You have a good day. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel. I would actually appreciate all of that. Thank you so much, guys. Like I said, I will see you when I come back streaming again. I will stop a bit because I'm struggling with the network. The day the network becomes stable a bit, and I can see that actually it's not giving me problems. I don't know whether it's sabotaging me or it's not, because when I'm not streaming, it is okay. It works very well. But when I start streaming, or I plan to do streaming, it's just go up and down, and it freezes, it does all these things. Sometimes when I upload videos, it takes forever, and I'm like, what is going on here? Anyway, Ladies and gentlemen, have a fantastic day. This guy and this channel, we are out. Sharp, sharp, fit.